ever start healing from something? Life is going really good, you're feeling good, and then bam, something happens and it feels like your whole life is falling apart. Well, been there, done that. Today, we are going to get into the less glamorized parts of spiritual growth. Hi, I'm Gabrielle. I like talking about spirituality, life, healing, and tarot. So, if any of that interests you, I would greatly appreciate a like, comment, or subscribe. There's this misconception that spiritual growth is all positive vibes, peacefulness, Palo Santo, affirmations, and crystals. And while those things definitely exist and feel wonderful, spiritual growth is chaotic, it is messy, and sometimes it is straight up ugly, okay? Let's talk about loneliness and isolation. A lot of the time, growth can mean outgrowing people, which, not gonna lie, sucks. It's not fun. When I first started my spiritual journey, I was thrown into a season of isolation. And at the time, it was one of my worst fears. I hated being alone, right? Sometimes I would just lose friends because it felt like I outgrew them, like I said, or other times it would feel like there was just this disconnect. But it does suck when you think someone's going to be around for a while and it turns out they was just there for a season. Mm. Another thing that I'll say about loneliness is shifting your perspective from being lonely to intentionally enjoying your alone time because it can be so refreshing, it can be so great, and it's in those times where you can really grow. One of the hardest parts of growth has got to be confronting your patterns, your fears, and your shadow self. When I started my journey, I would get stuck into this loop of avoidance because I thought that my patterns or certain parts of my shadow self were bad. But the gag is when you actually face those things and dig deep is when you can actually heal. I've had so many moments where I thought I was healed, and I mean really healed. I'm walking around thinking that I've reached this enlightened, untouchable state. I was like, oh my God, I've done so much healing. I've done so much work on myself, on my life. But then I realized it's an ego trap because thinking that you're completely done with healing is an ego trap. Because the moment you start flexing on your spiritual progress, the universe is like, oh, really? So you think you big and bad? And then bam, another lesson. Bam, another test. And then you're back in the trenches. The trick is not to resist because ego death is basically a reset. It feels harsh. You're shedding outdated beliefs, old systems, old identities, and ways of living, but it's for your highest good. The key is surrender, which is easier said than done, but letting go of trying to control the process. Let go of this idea that you're healed. That way you can make space for transformation and growth. So that's all that I have for us today. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next week with another video.